Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are preparing to face the Lord's Alliance and Cormyr. Gartok turned into Mrs. Paisley to make sure the Comptroller's letter said the right things. Butthole appreciated his new bedroom decorations, and Quinny discovered someone had broken into his office. Can these heroes convince the world Assguard is a safe place, or will a new war start today? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Quinny, there is a dagger in your desk, your brand new desk. Annan is just has her hand crossbow out, swearing profusely, just saying, I have no idea how.
No. None of that. I gestured to the hand crossbow. I was like, you should probably let the guards know. Just check on anything else that's vulnerable.
I'm very sorry. Maybe we'll get you a better office.
That's fine. I will take a look at this. Maybe I'll alert the king. We'll see. This might just be a personal thing. Let me take a look.
And her eyebrows raise slightly, and then she just nods and starts to walk down the hall. And you can already tell the fury and just okay, who is watching the door? Is just echoing down the hall as you make your way into the office. There is a scroll pinned to the center of the desk. As you step forward, you can see behind it is a bottle of wine. The blade is very ornate. It is a sort of a black metal. The hilt is very fancy. This is some proper kind of Warhammer blade kind of nonsense. So it's got a lot of curves and edges. And at the back of the hilt is a brilliant red stone in the pommel, which has a spike on the end for additional possible murthering. A scroll's been pinned, a bottle of wine is behind it, and as you approach the table, you can see a familiar harness slung over the chair.
All right. Can I deduce if removing the dagger will do anything magically, like set off a bomb or something like that? Set off some kind of...
Yeah, can you roll me, I guess, perception?
Quinny, come on.
Just want to be extra sure.
See, I expected a naked Vinton sitting in Quinny's chair.
You're my sex bomb.
Yeah, and instead we got a note with the dagger in it.
It's the equivalent
so I'm going to make sure.
This is her basic instinct.
So 17.
17? You're reasonably sure that there's nothing magical about the dagger.
Okay, so I'll work it loose from the desk and note, and then read the note.
Sure. So the note is surprise from Vinton Charlemagne. I know this comes as a shock. And it's written in her, Ryan is very shocked.
I can't believe it.
It's one of those weird moments looking even at the handwriting where it speaks to the level of sort of courtly etiquette that presumably this world Reginald had as well. That's just, it's the big sweeping script of, fancy royal upbringing that seems kind of contrary to everything else you've seen about her. It's a very, delicate and flowing script. But the letter says, sorry for having to duck out so unexpectedly. Please don't take it personally. It's more to do with the slights against my nation and the general misgivings about Damara that my fellow warlock knights seem to have. I had to leave a little bit earlier than expected, as there is much to do in that regard. In your absence, I got bored. I'll leave your imagination to play with that for a moment. And then after I was bored, I got to thinking about your unseen hand. You see, Vassar has reach as well, and I know you're new to this whole endeavor. You're new to this particular seat. So I figured I might do some of the legwork for you, given how easily the last lead you had got away. Your hand may be cut off at the wrist, dear Quinny. You should really check in on your agents, because what I am hearing is that several of them have decided to go rogue. So good luck with that, I suppose. Maybe the dagger will help. In terms of your missing Raish Grey, I have found an agent who has some information about it. However, my sources tell me that she is no longer at her post in Baldur's Gate. It would seem that a rather overzealous monster hunter has abducted her. Her name is Zabiana. We understand that this particular hunter has made camp with some others in the vicinity of this area outside Baldur's Gate. There's a little map drawn on the margin. Said, hopefully that can lead you to some answers about exactly what the ever-loving fuck happened here. Fun as it was, blood must still be paid for all of that. And once you've spilt that blood, please return my dagger to me in Vassar. You can use it to get past the gate. It marks you as someone who has been granted a boon. The bloodstone in the hilt is very symbolic of Vassar, and I took it from the first person I killed. Don't read too much into that. ... Or do ... There's no winky face in Vassar, but it's
no calligraphy.
Yeah,
emoji.
calligraphy. Winky face. It says, I look forward to seeing you again soon in the provided outfit, assuming, of course, that you are able to actually track down the perpetrators of the attack on Vassar and me. It's been fun, Quinny Brownbarrow. I look forward to more Ministry of Culture in the future. And then there's a bite in the bottom, and there's a little arrow drawn to it. It says, Chompy also says goodbye.
All right, then. And Quinny has to decide whether this is worth waking up the king over, like everyone's calling it a night.
I mean, even worse, there's ham and wine just sitting on the doorstep, untouched.
Unattended.
Unattended ham is the worst ham.
Yeah.
You spent real money on that. You didn't even steal it.
I know. I'm going to have to make up for that by kicking some orphan's crutches out from under him or something.
Someone may have stolen your ham, Quinny.
I have to keep the cosmic scales in balance.
This is your alpha gumbo.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is your new quest that you need to go undertake.
Ham, wine, and crutch.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got Raish Grey information. In my office, is there any way in my new office, to contact my potentially fractured network of spies?
You can go send birds or something. But
It's all been birds, right? There wasn't any other thing.
Yeah,
right.
unfortunately, without. Once you have your portals up and running, it'll be a hell of a lot easier to get word out. You also have messengers and things you can send. It's just, unfortunately, the problem that you've already run up against in terms of your when you're doing your research into the unseen hand and everything else is just spy networks like this operate usually as cells anyway. Archibald could show up kind of wherever he wanted. He had trusted local agents. He was feared, and his reach was tremendous. And with the backing of Emily, it was just bad news.
And I'm just a little guy.
You're just a little guy, but it's also kind of like when the Soviet Union fell, and it's just oh shit, now there's just weird, infrastructure everywhere, but no one necessarily running it, and the people who are waiting for orders aren't necessarily getting any orders. So what are they doing instead? So that's kind of where you're at.
Okay. So, yeah, I've got this piece of juicy intel, and then I'm assuming, my office of Spy Master / Minister of Culture has no other new intel from the network or anything like that. Right, okay. Well, this is all the results I got. I might as well let them know. Yeah, and I'll go to King Butthole's quarters to...
Who goes there? Yells Reginald, bursting out of his room with a hammer.
In full armor.
It's on fire, yeah.
Whoa, hey. I surrender, partner.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I got some spy stuff to talk to the king about.
Can I know what it is?
If he says so, sure. I don't care. Who knows?
All right. I guess I'm going with you to wake up the king. I'm assuming this is mission critical.
Yeah, he should probably know, yeah.
All right. This is going to prevent a war. Let's do this. And he's just walking along beside you holding a hammer a little bit awkwardly.
What's up with you?
The hammer's on. If I put it on my back and it slips, then I get burnt. It's on fire.
Put it out.
That makes a fireball roll out all over the place for a little bit, and then it goes on fire again.
This thing. Why did you
Because it's also on fire. Can you imagine what this can do?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Then why are you asking me why I'm carrying it?
Because we're in a castle full of all the people we like.
We're surrounded by an army of people who tried to kill us, and people break into this castle all the time.
Looks at the nose like, yeah.
Okay.
Immediately, Goblin Jr. jumps up and snarfs, hey, who goes there?
It's me. You just hear like, snarf, snarf.
Oh, hey, it's you. Oh, and hey, what's with the big flaming hammer?
He was scared and he can't put it out because if he does, it does a big fireball. So now he's just holding a big flaming hammer.
It's both idiotic and adorable, eh?
That's just how the hammer works, man.
Yeah, all right. Cool. We waking up the boss here?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hey.
Goblin Jr. immediately runs up and pats you on
that makes sense.
Comfortingly.
Sorry, I woke up to a flaming hammer. I assumed it was a vision for a second.
Snarf.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hey, so...
Hey. I brought important news for you.
Reginald absolutely throwing off Quinny's rhythm.
Doesn't matter how Freaky Friday you got. It's still great.
Yeah.
We're here for something incredibly important. It couldn't wait.
Yeah. Can we have, best friend talk? Wink, Is this an okay place to do that? I don't know how. It's been renovated.
If this isn't, you were fucked.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Found this pinned to my desk. It's from Vinton Charlemagne. She's no longer in town, by the way.
What does it say? Says Reginald from next to you.
Well, this is what I wanted to talk with you about. Is it okay with you if he hears this stuff too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's running the hammers. Like, if he doesn't know about a security threat,
cool.
We're at a severe disadvantage.
Okay. Well, then, for you...
I can know everything. Yep, actually, that's accurate.
All right. Well, then you should know, Reginald, that this was stabbed into my desk in a thoroughly locked room that Annan was pretty upset to learn somehow Vinton got into really, really easy. So there's, I don't know, gaps in the security somewhere that she exploited. Maybe magically. I don't know.
We are trying to sort out a magic school that's been spoken about, so hopefully we can get ourselves some magical detectives. Magic Investigatrix. I'm not smart, Reginald, so I don't know the name. But if I were, I could name it. It's a combination of investigatorix and a magic thing. I'm not smart, Reginald. I know my vocabulary is lacking.
Okay. Anyway, the note says
what does the note say?
It's they're both created to kill me, just to test me.
Well, no, one of them was created as a vessel for a god. The other one was just born.
They've both been sent here to challenge me. It says that the network of spies, the unseen hand, a bunch of them have gone rogue. Probably due to lack of, scary necromancer war god popes being around.
Okay. So who's in control of them now?
No one. As far as I can tell, they're just kind of doing their own separate thing.
Okay.
But
like they're independent? Like, can we just pay them?
Well, it just says here to gone rogue. And that's
all right, so maybe.
That's how it's been described.
So they're multi-classing.
They've all multi-classed into rogue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If they weren't rogue before, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
No wonder you guys beat them.
Guys, we've got a few more levels before we have to worry about them if they've just multi-classed in. I remember you level 1 through 3 and it was fine.
I was a sneaky little boy.
Relatively. We fought goblins. One of them lives here now. Are you afraid of that guy? Anyways. Okay.
Should I keep reading?
So they've gone rogue. I mean, if that happening in world, I don't want to know. So, okay. So they've gone rogue according to
Vinton Charlemagne. She's got her own network of spies. She also knows that I'm spy master, not just minister of culture.
Oh, because you're in love, so you both shared your work history.
We need to talk about that as well. I'm not in love with her.
Oh.
No. It was just like a building a relationship to get in with the warlocks kind of thing. Reginald explained it to me as like a honeypot.
Yes, it's a honeypot.
Yeah.
You both have sex with each other and fall in love to see who can get the most information out of the pot.
Oh, we do fall in love?
That happens.
Okay.
You try to make them fall more in love so that you can steal the most. Then whoever gets their heart broken probably dies.
I wish you would explain the full thing to me before we got, like, into it.
Well, it's a professional betrayal. I don't know. Meeting Vintage Charlemagne, did you think it would end with hugs and kisses if you stole a critical state secret and then gave it to us and it betrayed her?
I don't know.
Well, then, you know more about her than I do now, so it sounds like you're not worried. Maybe she's just putting on a big murdery front, and secretly she's just a soft teddy bear with a gooey heart.
Nope, I don't think it's a front. Anyway.
So here's the thing. Okay, this is 2 discussions. Let's get through your spy stuff discussion, and then I want to talk about the love.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
The letter.
Yeah, so I guess the point I make, so they've gone rogue.
Yeah.
You don't know how many or who.
No, that was not specified, and I have no other intel from my spy network. Nothing new has come in. So it's pretty bad.
Okay.
So, the letter also says...
Oh, there's more. Okay.
There is more.
What does it say?
Oh, my God. There's some intel on Raish Gray, which I know you were really looking forward to.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
what do we got?
Someone was working on figuring that out of Baldur's Gate. Someone by the name... If I read the letter or understood the letter correctly, my contact's name was Zabana?
There's an agent who... not necessarily of the Unseen Hand, but of the patchwork network of Vintage Charlemagne. So, yeah, basically an information broker named Zabiana.
Zabiana, excuse me.
Had information about it. However, she's been taken. So
yeah, by some kind of monster.
You can't just like show up at her office and be like, hi.
Yeah. We had made contact with someone who claimed to know things named Zabiana.
Okay.
Out of Baldur's Gate. She's disappeared. But that's kind of where the trail...
Where did she go?
I don't know, Reginald.
Oh.
The information in the letter says it's in Baldur's Gate is where she was last seen. So...
There are directions, like there is a map, a little like...
That's right, I apologize.
No, it's all good.
I thought the map was she was here in Baldur's Gate.
Oh, no. The map is like...
This is like where she lives.
It's a drawing of the house she was taken from.
It's such a fuck you. It's like, I mean, here's where you could have had the answers.
I fully thought I was like, this is where you should start.
Yeah, okay. No. Instead, it's kind of this is the region where where the hunter was last seen. Okay. So, yeah.
There's a little map doodle here of where she was last seen. I can't quite place it without a larger map, but that's what we've got.
Well, I've got the map table. All right, let's do this. And Butthole puts on his like big Santa coat that he wears to muddle around, takes you down to his map table. He just turns a crank and it flips over to a different map of a different part of the world. Baldur's Gate is present.
All right, now we'll just try lining that up.
Yeah, it's easy enough to determine. It's Baldur's Gate is along the west coast.
Yep.
So it's a little northeast of there, sort of in a wooded area.
Okay, so outside the city.
Okay, so we might need to send a team there to go see what we can find out from Zabiana.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, that's good. We got a lead. I'm happy to bring that to the Lord's Alliance. That's pretty good.
Okay, just there's a little extra stakes here where she's not cool with us, investigating and doing this, I guess, politically? Like, she's mentioning basically...
When you say she, do you mean Zabiana?
No, I'm talking about Vinton Charlemagne.
Oh, your lover.
She wrote this letter. Do you understand that she wrote the letter that I have?
Yes, but you described 2 different people with different motivations, and you keep just saying she.
I promise you, I've said everything there is to know about Zabiana.
I don't know.
No other information.
It seemed like you forgot there was a map there for a second.
I remembered the map. I didn't know where that was.
Okay, so you're saying that Vinton Charlemagne broke in here and left us a letter that said our spies are going bad.
Yeah.
And that Zabiana has secrets and is trapped somewhere in these woods.
Yes, related somehow to Raish Gray. And she's basically keen to do like a blood for blood kind of thing. Like there was an attempt made on her, right? So that's going to maybe lead
This is Zabiana?
Oh, jeez.
We were just talking about Zabiana.
Forget Zabiana.
Oh, okay. Gone.
Flip the table back. I don't even want to know where she lives anymore.
Okay, just a second. And he cranks the table and it goes back.
Great.
Okay.
When I say she, who could I possibly be referring to?
Vintage Charlemagne?
Yes.
Or any woman?
No. Only Vintage Charlemagne.
Are you? She is only Vintage Charlemagne?
What? When I say she,
Yeah.
you say nothing. How about that?
No,
Let's try it.
Let's try it on precise.
She.
You went too fast.
When I say she, you say nothing. She.
Nothing.
No, fuck, you had it right the first time.
I think I still had it right. That Reginald got confused. But you said you say nothing, and that is a word.
Don't speak.
Which one of us?
Oh, my God. Both of you. All three. I look at Goblin Jr. like, don't even start. All three of you. Nothing. Vinton Charlemagne has made veiled threats about creating an international incident over this Raish Grey thing. That Vassar needs blood for this attack on them, this attempt to besmirch their name, right? This faux assassination attempt on Raish Grey. So that happened on our turf. I don't know how that implicates us, but she's basically not necessarily going to wait around. She, being Vinton Charlemagne, is not going to wait for us to figure this out necessarily. So I think we need to put someone on this right away. You may speak. Butthole.
Yeah?
You're the king.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, it sounds like Vintage Charlemagne's mad.
Yep.
We're not like murderers for other countries, but I
We are
want to know
not.
what's going on with Raish Grey. So
Yes.
what do you think we should do?
I think we should put someone on finding Raish Grey. I think we should do it quickly.
Okay, who?
I mean, I would volunteer, I guess, but I just got back. Is there anyone else that we can send out?
You're talking right now.
I think we need to put someone on it as soon as possible because
Okay, well, we've all had the shit kicked out of us and we're exhausted. So Vismuth's already out. We could
fucking
send
Vismuth.
we could send Reginald, but here's the thing. You've got a new agent that we got
Yeah.
from the last place. And
I thought
he's
we had to send him
still
to
pretty
Cholt.
fresh. Yeah, listen, I wanted to send him to the undead dinosaurs too, but that was just to get rid of him. And now apparently you have 0 agents other than this guy.
So I got to promise him undead dinosaurs just outside of Baldur's Gate?
Promise them eventually.
All right. I'll write a letter. He can read, right? He didn't seem...
Oh, I have no
He
idea.
didn't seem too sharp. Okay. I'll go talk to him then.
Okay, so we got that.
All right.
But where are we going to send him? What's he doing?
Flip the table over.
Oh, just a second. He cranks the table and it flips over. Okay.
Right there. We're sending him there.
Why?
Because that's where Zabiana was last seen.
Who's that?
I did say Zabiana. Yeah. That's the woman in the letter.
What? I don't know anything about her.
Look at this. I hold up the letter.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, take it and read it.
And he takes it and he reads it. And he's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I may have heard this before, but been told to forget it.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
there's Zabiana. So she's there in the wood. That makes sense. So you want to send Tyria Mar.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's all the info I got for you. I thought it would be important for you to know right away. Nothing on those alphas, those werewolf alphas.
Okay. Yeah, that's bad. Maybe we can talk to Ann about trying to start paying spies who worked for us before.
That sounds
get
great.
Something rather than not. So we could sort that out with the Treasury. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. Tyria Mar, we kind of agreed we'd only send her to places where we could kill everyone. Baldur's Gate's in the Lord's Alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't send him. So you're going to have to figure out somebody else to send. He'll just kill everyone, and probably Zabiana, because he's insane.
Okay. So we send him to where there's undead dinosaurs only.
Right now, he's your only agent. Do you want to waste him?
Waste him, yeah, kind of, but not on this. I think I have to probably go. I don't want to go, but I probably have to go.
Okay, well, you're not going to do that right now.
Why?
Because you're exhausted, and we just came back from a mission, and we could be at war tomorrow. Raish Grey is what we call a down-the-line problem.
Okay.
Today's problem is, and he just turns and points out the window at the army of Cormyr, the purple dragons that are surrounding the city.
Hey, everybody, it's the middle of the night. you should be sleeping or patrolling, one of the two.
Yeah, that's the most pressing
No,
problem.
I don't want you to be confused. That's Patty doing a great job. We really need to sort out a night shift so she doesn't have to wake up every hour for the rest of her life yelling out of my eyes.
Are you fucking kidding me? Everybody's waking up every hour. Listen to that thing. No one sleeps more than an hour.
We need a calm person with a chill voice who can do that. So we'll think on that. Maybe Terry Marr for now. We'll see.
Goblin Jr.'s like, snarf, which I guess to both of you is like, what about that burnout surfer guy?
The dude?
He's got a pretty chill voice, kind of calming, kind of ASMR-y, you know? Like you gotta go to sleep. You can just be there being like, you know, hey, maybe go sleep. Hey, surfing's great.
That's a pretty good impression.
Yeah, thanks. I've been working on it.
Okay.
All right, so we'll give the dude a shift. That's pretty easy. Okay, we got that problem solved. We need to deal with the army tomorrow. Also, here's the deal, Quinny. If we have to lie in the negotiations, I'm awful at that.
Oh, I'm really good at that.
Yeah, that's why we need you to be there for the lying.
Okay. As long as you can figure out a reason for me to speak for you, great.
Yeah, I could throw around. Like, we're all in this. It's a team thing. Like, that's cool. So, okay, so you're going to need to build a whole spy network from the ground up or bribe your way into the current one existing. You have one agent who is a psychopath who you don't have any control over, so maybe start there.
The perfect spy.
Yep. You have your haters hidden away in a country that now needs peacekeepers and diplomats.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, Quinny, but I thought I was giving you a whole structure to be able to do your job, and now you're just going to have to start from zero and build it all.
Great.
I know how you love responsibility and building and interpersonal relationships.
I'm very good at all of those things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, I'm just going to flag this for you. There's a ton of new businesses and a ton of people moving into town because we don't have walls anymore.
Okay.
I'm betting a new thieves guild springing up that's going to completely screw us over, and probably several enemies, including the Planteers, have spies in town. So let's clean up here, and then we'll go to Baldur's Gate and see if we can make a new friend.
All right, we'll do all of that before we go to Baldur's Gate.
All right, perfect. So I think the king and I are going to go back to sleep, and Quinny, it sounds like you have a couple of things you need to do.
Yeah, I'm going to try to sleep.
Okay.
And Quinny turns around and just leaves.
All right. Turns, goes back to bed, and Reginald's like, okay.
Quinny comes back.
Oh.
What are you going to do with that now? That flaming hammer?
Oh, I have a rack for it in the corner of my room.
It just stays on fire on the rack.
Correct.
Okay, I was just curious because you got to go to bed. You can't just
Yes, no, it's set up so that if somebody opens
fire.
the door the wrong way, the hammer falls right on their head.
Okay, good to know.
Reginald, do you have to speak with the animals?
No.
All right. Goblin Jr. looks at you and goes, snarf, snarf, which Quinny you hear as, well, wait, doesn't then the fireball just roll around inside your room, falls on someone's head?
No, I don't think the fire goes out. It's just a flaming hammer bonks the intruder on the head, Goblin Jr.
Yeah, but he said if he puts it down, then the big fireball rolls around, right?
If he puts it out.
Ah. Well, all right. That's why I only use normal holy hammers and my teeth.
Yeah, no, it's simpler sometimes.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Just
you can get someone.
Yes. Snarf, 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 snarf.
What did he say? Do we think it's just poorly attempting to speak an animal's language?
And
said some really prejudiced shit,
Yeah.
dude, just now. Holy shit.
Goblin Jr.
Prejudiced at all to make the sounds.
just turns and looks at you and he's like, oh, I'm a big dumb idiot. I'm scared of everything. And I'm like Butthole, but worse. That's what I heard. What do you hear?
Keeping secrets doesn't make friends, says Reginald, looking at two people making clear dog conversation directly in front of him.
Goblin's just like, I got enough friends.
You're fine. Work on your wolf, because that was you embarrassed yourself a little bit, but that's okay.
Can you teach me?
No, because I don't actually know any of these languages. It's just magic that helps me hear it and speak it. I literally did nothing at all to earn this.
Damn, says Reginald, storming out of the room.
Another job for the magic school.
Honestly.
Slam the door. All right, and with that, dum-dums, you turn in for the night. You awake to the sultry sounds of, hey, everybody, it's the morning. Time to wake up and maybe stop a war. I'm so tired. From the statue. You awake.
Sorry, Mrs. Paisley just like jerks awake. She's like, I'll steal your identity. Just having such a nice dream.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, you awake. Mrs. Paisley, I'm going to give you a point of inspiration for dreaming all night about how to do what you do. It's like you were training in your mind palace. None of the other personas can use it though. That's a Mrs. Paisley special.
Thank you. I was literally during that scene, I was thinking, like, what would Mrs. Paisley be dreaming about? Like,
crime.
Try to sell me counterfeit banknotes.
No, it's legal tender, I swear. Great. So you all awake to the sultry sounds of Patty Two Eyes screaming through a giant butthole statue. It is a blindingly clear day outside. Again, sort of desert sun. Already up, glinting against the armor of the purple dragons and their assorted army. Word has spread that the king has returned from Sembia, and as a result, the army is kind of at the ready, one way or the other. They're the kind of we're waiting around road crew thing has disappeared, and the army is kind of at full thing. Primrose Everheart kind of out in front, astride her horse. Waiting for word, though. They're not moving into town. They're kind of waiting to see how this plays. You've sent word to the Lord's Alliance to assemble. Mm-hmm. Yep. Where did you want to have that? In the
official throne room space that they can enter and walk up to.
Yep. So is there anything any of you want to do before this meeting?
I think just get a game plan going for how we present all this. Get together just so we're not completely winging it.
Yep. So you are showing that you have laws, that you've kind of set things up. You've done a show of culture to show that there's more to Assguard than just war. And you have a favor. You have a neighbor who will vouch for you from the region are the things you need to present.
Okay. Well, that sounds like one for each of us. Ms. Paisley, are you... I'm still not 100% on how the personas work. Have you got all the Chief Justice kind of stuff?
Well, I think Mrs. Paisley could talk about the show of art, right? Because we had to show arts and cultures. So that's...
Oh, well, then who do you want to have talk about, like, laws and stuff?
Honestly, that might be something for you, given that you are the ultimate authority of this land.
So I talk about the laws.
All right, yeah, you can take the laws.
You talk about the great work we did, and the letter will confirm that you did the great work.
Right, yeah. Add that again to my list. Move it a little higher up on my list of stuff that I got to take care of. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll take care of this Sembia thing. Cool. Okay.
All right. So I'll go.
You should probably go last, right?
I'll go last. Yeah. That feels like that. Okay. So first we open with Mrs. Paisley. Then we.
All right. What?
That was paint night.
Remember, we did paint night. We did the show. We disbanded the army. We made a lot of big cultural movements. Yeah,
there was the parade with the dancing,
followed by dancing and fireworks,
followed by the disbanding of the army into a small peacekeeping force.
Fireworks.
And now we're in a fun culture. Everything's like more artsy and less war.
Disbanded. Peacekeepers.
Now, normally I would have Reginald here, but there is an army outside the walls considering an invasion, so we're going to send him out there with the hammerers because we don't have bismuth.
Oh, okay. You mind if I recruit Patty Two Eyes to read out the letter? Just feels like, get someone with a big voice, read it out for everyone, and then we can hand it off to them to confirm.
She sounds very tired, but I think she is a great choice to do this. Quinny, I am proud of you.
Or what?
Normally, you hate Patty Two Eyes, and you don't want to put her at the center of attention, and you're giving her this big central moment to the entire country, knowing that she's a better voice for it than you. That's quite impressive.
Well, all right, yeah. No, cool, no problem. I just don't want to do this.
Well, it seemed more magnanimous before you said that, but we'll settle for the result, not the intent.
Cool.
All right, let's... get into position. You guys, either side of the throne, we'll get him brought in. Do we have the bagels? Yeah, we have enough bagels. Yeah. There's enough bagels for everybody. That's important.
That's a lot of bagels.
Yeah, it might be too many, but that's, you got to be a little showy.
So having obtained enough bagels, to make this all work.
That's important.
The remaining members of the Lord's Alliance arrive. You, of course, have Sildar Hallwinter, who is here as kind of the tour guide for the Lord's Alliance, bringing them in from Waterdeep. He's not a representative. He's just keeping an eye on everybody. You have Bluebeard the Gnome from Neverwinter, Foulmire Pinkblossom from the Misty Forest and the High Forest, Perkidius Ricarlson from Mithril Hall, and Nahiri Larkstep representing Waterdeep. Raish Grey was here representing Baldur's Gate, but
Whoops,
where did they go? No one knows. So the remaining folks are here, and everyone is... These guys are tired. This is like a diplomatic mission that has gone on far too long and seen far too much drama. Foulmire Pinkblossom is, of course, fully done up, as is her way. But you can tell also has been working extra hard because she's also trying to set up a magic school on the side while sitting around here. Perkidius Ricarlson is really put together as well. Like gone is the sort of raving man you heard. He was just so changed by his overcoming his long-standing beef with Winchester that he just slight little smile. He's not like springing a step or anything, but just a little more. He's not carrying that hate around anymore. So they all come in, and there is an air of ceremony to this. They're aware that they are here to cast a fairly serious judgment. This isn't just a standard, hey, you a good fit for the team. It's like if they say no, then there's really nothing between you and Cormyr other than diplomacy, and they're all sort of concerned. So Foulmire Pinkblossom just of course, eats the room as she comes in, pushing Nahiri Larkstep aside, and just says, yes, this glorious day has finally come, as I foretold, as I saw. Hush, Minister, I can see a snarky comment upon your lips, and this fine ceremony must not be sullied by such thoughts. We must instead put our minds to the worthiness of a nation, the worthiness of your nation, my lord.
That's correct, Valenmire. Thank you for your wisdom. We are not here to snark, my friends. We are here because this is a big moment for Assguard, and perhaps an incredibly positive moment for the Lord's Alliance. We have achieved great things in a very short period of time, and we are very happy to remind you of those things, to show and demonstrate our value that we can present to the Lord's Alliance, that we can present to the world in general, by demonstrating the changes that have been made. Akkah is no more. We are Assguard now. You may read it in letters or other promotional things that will say Assguard, formerly known as Akkah, but if we stick to this new name long enough, we'll be able to let that history go. I am happy to hand the first part of our presentation over to my dear friend, our Chief Justice and resident artist, Mrs. Paisley, to explain the arts and cultural contributions and changes we have made to Assguard since we have taken control.
Perkidius Ricarlson can't help himself. He just chants a little bit under his breath, Paisley, 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 Paisley.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I believe I did some good work at the old campaigner. If you stop by there, actually, they've commissioned a mural to on their wall to begin depicting the great achievements of Assguard.
And Nahiri Larkstep can't help herself, but just from the corner she goes, "Oh, a mural in a tavern, truly a great work of art."
Well, it's a first step, dear, and it's communal.
Mrs. Paisley, could you jump to the big sweeping changes we've made that demonstrate the value of the Lord's Alliance?
My apologies. I'm sure you were aware of the great parade that we had, followed by dancing and the fireworks, which was really all concluding in the disbanding of the army. In fact, the army of the former Akkah are now peacekeepers.
And just like Bluebeard just runs his hands up his head and says, okay, so you didn't disband your army, you just gave them a different name.
Oh no, the army is disbanded. They will not be doing any army activity.
Every tyrannical war group that has said they are peacekeepers just still does war? Are you saying that you took the same people who made war and now they're just here to make peace?
All right, I'm going to cut in here to clarify, because I think there's some confusion just in terms of language. The army has been disbanded. They are traders. They are construction workers. They are diplomats. We are making the society here into a new society. We have kept a very small number, less than 5% of the original army, the most trustworthy, the most reasonable, the most professional soldiers, not the necromancy crazies, not the insane murderers. We're talking people who have passed like zone of truth level estimations, testing. They are remaining as a peacekeeping force that we will use to protect Assguard itself and on behalf of our allies, should they end up in a conflict, to have, rather than a horde of insane murderers, we're talking a small, elite force with specialized armor and others to support our friends, allies, and people who need assistance.
Yeah, persuasion check, please.
Yes, yes.
As I said, peacekeepers.
This is a persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use one of my inspirations. I've been stacking them up. I got to use them. 21.
21? Okay. There's some happy rabbling. Some like, oh, this is very good, very good. Sildar is kind of nodding along with this, given that the whole desire of an ally out here was to have a foothold in the region, and if there's no army, there's no foothold. And Bluebeard looks relieved, but also a little embarrassed, and he turns to you, Mrs. Paisley, and says, "You'll have to excuse me. I was concerned that you'd just given your army different hats. I didn't understand that you've reworked them. But of course, Madam Chief Justice, that makes perfect sense. It is reasonable with such neighbors as Vassar to have some form of defense. Yes. And of course, based on what we've seen since we arrived, a dangerous place indeed. Yes. Okay. Very good. Very good. Please continue. Pardon the interruption."
We've also reinstituted paint night.
Oh, yeah, who's there for that? That was very good. Yeah. And
she says in a very it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and for
you don't need to justify paint night.
He's nodding
strong.
along. He's basically become your hype man. Like anytime you say something, he's like, he's just, the oh my God, what's his name? The wrestling hype man. He's my absolute favorite. Paul Heyman. Thank you. Yeah, it's just your Paul Heyman being like, oh, look at this guy.
Paul Bearer said at the same time.
Yeah. Also good, different thing. Yeah.
Closer to a dwarf.
Just
like
just
a fantasy dwarf.
your Paul Heyman, just like hyping them up and being like, yeah, paint night. We found my pink blossom. Says, "Truly, the misty forest and the high forest never saw in anything that we looked at in the future of Akkah a paint night that was successful. This is truly a wonderful thing you have managed. They put down their swords, picked up their paint brushes, and have attempted to capture the majesty of nature, poorly, but with great earnesty. It is wonderful.
And a symbol of more things like that to come.
More paint nights to come. Fascinating." But there is general agreement, with the exception of Nihiri Larkstep, who still thinks, coming from a very large city, that everything you did was very quaint. It's kind of like, we put up an apple stand. It's like, I don't care about this. Everyone else
we had like 3 fucking days, so fuck them.
So there's a lot going on between the eyes of people going back and forth. But generally speaking, they seem sold on that. And Sildar nods and says, "Thank you, Chief Justice."
And we also did work on behalf of a local friend who can now vouch for us and demonstrate our value to the communities here as well as to the Alliance. He gestures over to Quinny, our Minister of Culture.
Yep. Hi. Look, as the Minister of Culture, it is my firm belief that culture and community go hand in hand, so it was very important to me to ensure that the national community, our neighbors, the nations we share borders with, felt that we could be relied on and foster a strong bond. So we visited Selgant in Sembia and provided aid where the call for aid was not being answered. And so I have here a letter outlining our services to our neighbor. Sildar, if you wouldn't mind, come on up here, have a look at this to just verify the official seal and everything like that.
Goes up, takes a look at the seal, rolls a 7. So he's like, it's never been broken.
Well, yes, but more importantly, it is the seal of Selgant. Right?
Yes, no, I recognize that. I just want to make sure it hasn't been tampered with.
So I want you to know we're not just reading random paper. I'm going to unseal it now so that we can read out this letter of recommendation.
And Falmeyer just smiles very saccharinely and says, so concerned about the beauty and the art of the seal that you don't want to interrupt it, Minister, I understand, but please do go on.
Great, yeah. So here you go. I've got the speaker for the city, Patty Two Eyes. Everyone in the back, you're gonna love this. And just hands her the scroll.
Just comes
just
in,
read that.
just like trembling cup of coffee, just taking a swig with one hand. Says, "Okay, Patty, it's showtime. Let it be known that in a time of great need, the people of Selgant received no aid so valuable as that from old Assguard. Looks like they rode a car that had to cross it out. But, like the big man said, that's going to change over time. They say specifically that one Mr. Quinny Brownbarrow," and then she looks at it, she looks up at you, and looks back at it and says, "did nothing to help because he's just a guy who's around. But it looks like the king and the chief justice did a whole bunch. I mean, you can read it if you want, but this is what it looks like to me with my 2 eyes. Anyway,
Tom, can you roll me a deception for Patty? Because if Butthole can tell this is a lie, he's gonna have to call this out.
I got an 8.
If it's insight, it's a 15. He's going to be like, all right, Patty, thank you. You're very tired. Get out. And he's going to take the letter from her and be like, you know what, Sildar, why don't you read this aloud and we'll pass it around so everybody can actually read the words themselves.
Certainly. It would seem that the town crier missed this particular passage that the Minister of Culture was apparently instrumental in bringing about the aid to Sembia, blah, blah, blah. Was this written by a Comptroller? This is very...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, no, it would seem that the delegation from Assguard saved the day, and Lord High Governor Uskvarn III and Honey Lass the
That's
second.
his bird. He's got a bird.
Sure. It would seem that they are very grateful for the assistance of the people of Assguard. So there you have it. I myself have, of course, seen how useful King Butthole and Minister of Culture Brown Barrow can be, and this comes as no surprise to me, although it does seem glowing. So clearly you did a very good job.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that satisfies your requirement and looking out to the crowd of people.
Yeah, and then there's nodding from around. This honestly just feels like good diplomacy to all of them. It's just like they wanted an Assguard, but now they also have Sembia, so there's a lot of like...
And Mrs. Paisley wanting to kind of make up for like not selling the culture stuff so well. Just like, also a signifier of the help you can expect in future.
Yeah, and there's not. I mean, like Nahiri Larkstep really just wants to like shore up Waterdeep's defenses, so she really isn't having this. But even she nods along with that, being like, "Yeah, okay."
I'm just laughing at Laura's fully in character look to me of like, "Oh, I'm helping." Very much Miss Paisley to Butthole at the same moment as Laura to me.
And finally, attention turns to the Butthole.
The Butthole.
One of the biggest questions that has been asked is about our laws. Before we came here, this was an authoritarian, tyrannical state. The only punishment was death. The only time it was enforced was when it served the ruling class. And it was impossible to maintain alliances, to maintain justice, to maintain dignity, and to maintain any sort of diplomatic or business relationship, which is why we have abandoned that. It is important for all of you to know we are not plagiarizing any of your laws.
We are not here to take what you have built. We are here to build something new and to learn the lessons from the past that will allow us to build an incredible future. We wanted to give our citizens the rights that everyone justly deserves. But we're also acknowledging that as of about 2 weeks ago, they were all heinous murderers trying to become the chief murderer of their area so they simultaneously could murder with impunity and not be murdered, expecting those people to be able to shift dramatically to a moral, ethical way of living that allows us to sustain international relationships is not possible. Also, we are founding a new town watch. We need to build a system that will allow people to have the freedoms and understand the freedoms they can have from the past and towards the future. Which is why we are creating and have created the Charter of Future Freedoms. These are our goals. These are the rights that we want our citizens to one day have. And they are so dear to our heart and so central to this nation that they are being carved, even now, into the outside of this palace. We are making those pledges publicly. We are stating what we are aiming for. We can look at the laws we put into place and the choices we make and the verdicts we give to know they are moving us towards those carvings. And if they aren't, everyone here in Assguard, all of our allies will be able to tell. And one of the ways we are guaranteeing that is we have rehabilitation programs for prisoners. We want to get them out of the prison and back to being meaningful members of society. And we need a clear and transparent justice system, which is why rather than building a court that is hidden away or hidden in some high-bound place, it is somewhere where any of you or any visiting citizens from any of your nations can go. It will be a public amphitheater. And we are choosing an ageless dragon judge to oversee that, to make sure...
Mutter, surprise, gasp.
To make sure that our laws will be built on precedent, but also built on not just our collected decades of wisdom, not just our collected in this room centuries of wisdom, but to be based on the best laws spread over thousands of years from empires that have come and gone to make sure that we will be here. We will exist. We will strengthen you. We will be an ally not just for now, and not just for tomorrow, but for all of the future, guaranteeing that we can make these rights happen, we can create meaningful citizens and meaningful presence, and we can maintain the security of our people and help maintain the security of yours as we move forwards into a brighter future. If you don't believe me, just step outside.
And with that, they all kind of nod to each other, and almost symbolically, they do. They step outside and just take a moment on the street. Again, just looking at what even a week ago was, to your point, a weird murder cesspool, and now just feels like a busy, boring town. Things are happening. People are coming and going. There's fights. There's laughter. There's all the sounds of industry and routine occurring, and they all just sort of sit there and watch that for a few moments, and then they confer with each other and nod to Bluebeard, who's kind of the de facto foreperson, given that he's an actual lawyer. And he pushes the glasses up his nose, turns around, smiles, and says, "Well, I think we all agree that what you've managed to accomplish in so short a time is truly astonishing, incredible, truly. And we of the Lord's Alliance would be honored to have Assguard in our ranks." And with that, he walks up to you, Butthole, smiles, and says, "You know, all those years ago when I saw you on trial, I never thought I would be extending my hand as a member of the Lord's Alliance. But here we are. I am honored to welcome you in, sir." And he puts his hand up to you.
Everybody I meet is just a new friend I haven't made yet. It's nice to know that it's official. And he'll shake the hand.
And with that, there's, polite applause from the crowd. Everyone starts going around. It's a lot of handshakes and other things. And sort of, Butthole, as this is happening, you kind of look up sort of onto the horizon, and you can already see the trebuchets coming down and the members of the Purple Dragon starting to disband. Not the entire army, but like chunks of it are already starting to return. Primrose Everhard is sitting there with like a fucking spyglass up against one eye. And you can just see the glint of it in the distance, but it's clear they were kind of watching for like, if these guys get back in their Pegasus cart and leave, that's a different story. And there's celebration and jubilation in this small group. For the rest of Assguard, there's things to do. There's a city to build. There's a nation to stabilize. And yet the wheels of international diplomacy are spinning here in this truly historic moment. Akkah has finally fallen, and from the ashes rises Assguard. You can add 1 point of prosperity, 2 points of influence,
Nice.
and a point of military to your sheet.
Woo!
Long live Assguard.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Old Man Mojo, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, The Gata Family, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Dan the Welshman, Afflicto Gaming, Aiden, Beef Not Cheese, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.